What is PMP and PMI? What is the purpose of PMBOK guide? Why become a PMP certified? The exam syllabus and the exam like. So this is the agenda of this brief session. So let's first of all look at what is PMI and PMP. So I'm sure everyone would understand, or everyone would know, that PMI stands for Project Management Institute, which is a not-for-profit based organization in US, and whereas PMP stands for Project Management Professional. PMI is an organization, remember that, and PMP is a certification. PMI is the organization who conducts the PMP exam. Your PMP certification is valid for 3 years. It will not get expired after 3 years if you are able to show that you have achieved 60 hours of knowledge related to project management in those 3 years. So if you show that in the 3 years after you become PMP or after you got PMP certification, you have been continuously working on some of the webinars or seminars, or you have been attending some sessions related to project management, then the total number of hours in 3 years that you need to show is 60 hours. If you show that in 3 years you have attended 60 hours of training or seminar or webinar, then your PMP certification will be renewed or will get validated for another 3 years. So like this you can keep on doing it, or keep on renewing it without having to write the exam again. So basically PDU stands for Professional Development Unit. PMBOK Guide 5th edition stands for 5th edition of a guide of of a guide to the project management body of knowledge. PMBOK Guide 5th edition is a textbook for the PMP exam. Let's look at a quick introduction to PMI. PMI is headquartered in US and it was founded in 1969. It's a world-leading not-for-profit professional organization for project management professionals with the purpose of advancing project management. There are somewhere around 370,000 people who hold PMP certification, which is almost just 2% of the project managers in this world. Advocates best practice in project program and portfolio management. Other credential or other certifications that PMI offers are like CAPM, program management, agile, risk management, schedule professional. So these are all the different certifications that comes from PMI, and even more than this. So currently we are concentrating on the first two, on these two. So moving on to the next slide, the sum of knowledge within the profession of project management is there in the PMBOK. It includes widely applied practices and innovation. It is constantly evolving. The knowledge and practices are applicable to most of the projects. So there was one question, someone was asking me that is it okay that we can apply the same on construction project? So basically you can apply these this methodology on any type of project, doesn't matter. The PMBOK guide itself is divided into different sections like section 1, 2, 3, 4. And section 1 talks about the introduction, then 2 talks about the organizational influences and the project life cycle, 3 talks about all the different process groups that we have, and 4 talks about the knowledge areas, 10 knowledge areas that we have. Why become PMP certified? Of course, because it's a widely recognized project management certification, or I should say it's one of the most prestigious certifications that you would find in this profession of project management. Worldwide recognition of your knowledge. So people would know just by saying or just by looking at that, okay, you are PMP certified, so that means you do have knowledge on project management. Demonstrates proof of professional achievement. It helps you to improve the way you manage your projects. It increases your marketability, displays your willingness to pursue growth, increases customer confidence, values globally across different industry verticals and companies, like all these different companies. So in order to become PM, or in order to write the PMP exam, there are two conditions, or there could be two scenarios. One is that you are a high school diploma holder or associate degree holder, or something same in the global terms. You are holding a high school diploma. If that's the case, then you require 5 years of project management experience with at least 75 hours of work that you have done in leading and directing projects. Whereas the other case could be that you are a bachelor's degree holder and it's a 4 years degree, which is generally a bachelor or college university degree. If you hold one of those degrees, then instead of 5 years, you only need to show 3 years of project management experience with 4,500 hours of work done on project management or project leading and directing tasks. And in both the cases, you definitely need 35 contact hours of formal education for the project management professional course. You will have to show the projects that you have worked on. You will have to fill the application of the PMP exam, and that application has the areas where you can fill in for your 4,500 hours of work experience. So they will give you proper fields and columns where you have to show that this is how much you have um, this is how much you have worked on the project, or these are the projects that you have worked on, and this is the time you spend in planning, executing. So it's all there in the application format itself. uh, ML 3 to 5 years of PM experience within whatever time, but it should be in the previous 8 years that you have to show this experience, not older than that. The exam syllabus, of course, there are 5 process group, 10 knowledge areas, and in total there are 47 project management processes. So these 47 project management processes are divided in two different ways. One is as per the process groups and the other is as per the knowledge areas. So these 47 project management processes, either you can align them or you can group them as per the 5 process groups, or you can group them as per the 10 knowledge areas. So the 5 process groups that we have are initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing. And the 10 knowledge areas that we have is integration, scope, time, cost, quality, human resource, communication, risk, procurement. Guys, now many of you have been asking me what's the difference between 4th edition and the 5th edition. So the difference is of this stakeholder management knowledge area. So this was never a part of 4th edition. It is only there in 5th edition. So if you refer anytime to any 4th edition book, you would see that there are 9 knowledge areas. But in the 5th edition, now there are 10 knowledge areas. And also in 4th edition there were only 42 processes, which are now 47. So That's again another difference, that the number of processes have increased, and earlier they were 42, now there are 47. So there are lots of different processes like creating WBS, which is part of planning, as well as scope management. So like this creating WBS, which is a process, falls under planning process group and under scope management. Or maybe determining the budget also falls under planning process group, but is a part of cost management knowledge area. So like this, we would generally have two different categorization of each process based on the process group and the knowledge area. Right, so this is a quick information for you. So the PMP exam is of 4 hours, knowledge tested for the 5 domains, which are initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing. There are 200 questions that you have to answer, randomly generated questions. So there is not a fixed set of 200 questions that you would see coming every time. There is a big database of questions and you can get random 200 questions. Out of these 200 questions, only 175 are scored, which means that you would only be marked for 175 questions out of those 200 questions, and the 25 questions that you are not marked on are statistical questions, or they are there to see how audience are responding to those questions and are they fit to be a PMP exam question or not. But the bad thing is that you never know that which are those 25 questions. So for you, when you're writing the exam, all the 200 questions carry exact same weightage, and any of those 200 questions can be one of those 25 questions, but you would never know. There would only be 4 possible answers. There isn't a 5, there aren't any questions that have 3 choices or 5 choices. Always 4 choices, 1 answer, and there is no negative marking, which means even if you mark a wrong answer for a particular question, you would only get a 0, or you would not get any marks for that question. And in many exams, if you mark a particular question wrong, you get negative marking, which means you would have marks deducted from your total if you have answered a question wrong. So many times it's better to leave a particular question instead of answering it wrong. But because in PMP exam we do not have negative marking, so please mark all the questions. And along with that, PMI also grades everyone on the 10 knowledge areas, and based on this grading they declare a student either pass or fail. The grading system that PMI would use is proficient, above proficient, and below proficient. So after finishing the PMP exam, there would be either a pass or a fail written on your screen.